الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الأمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Of course, I'm talking to grade 5 tomorrow, God willing. We're going to have the exam, the second quiz, God willing. And it's going to be about the novel of the island of the Blue Dolphins, okay? The main character, the major character is Karana. And we have the booklet now. Everyone has the booklet. It has a lot of questions. Okay, go back to the booklet. Answer all the questions that you have on the booklet. If you have any questions, if you have any thing that you didn't understand, okay, God forbid, just contact Teacher Malik today on WhatsApp, and I'm gonna be available to answer all of your questions. And it's gonna be easy, God willing, because we have revised this story over and over again. I repeat, tomorrow the exam is going to be about the island of the Blue Dolphins. We're not going to have any questions about 10 Mile Day. It's not in the exam, God willing, okay? So, here we go. You have this revision sheet on Classera, okay? We're going to revise it together. Then I'm going to tell you something which is too important you have to pay attention to, okay? So, what is the genre of the story? Island of the Blue Dolphins. This is too easy. It's not a play, it's not a comedy, it's not a tragedy, it's a novel. But this novel is special in its own way because the character, the main character, it's not fictional, okay? It's real, it existed. The place, it existed. The time, it existed. But the story, the events, they did not happen that way. The second question is, Karana thought about several places to build her house. She finally chose the place to the west. No, she didn't, because that place, okay, was near the lair of the wild dogs. On the shore, no, she didn't, because it was next to the sea elephants. The headland was the best place for Karana. Now listen to me, my boys. Tomorrow, God willing, you're going to have different questions, okay? Maybe you're going to have one of those questions, I don't know, okay? But you're going to have, of course, you're going to have different questions. What I want you to pay attention to, maybe you're going to have a question, okay? I don't know anything about the exam, to be honest, okay? So maybe you're going to have a question with three answers, and the fourth one, it says all what is mentioned above, okay? Pay attention to that question, okay? Pay attention to that one, okay? Go back to the three answers above, okay? If they are all correct, so then choose the fourth one, which is all the mentioned above, okay? So for example, I'm gonna give you an example. Karana faced in the island wild dogs. This is the first answer. Foxes. This is the second answer. Gray mice. This is the third answer. And the fourth one says all the mentioned above. Of course, the correct one is all the mentioned above, because she didn't meet only she didn't meet only foxes or wild dogs only or mice only. No, she met all of them. So the correct answer is the fourth one. Pay attention to this question. So you have to go back to all the words of vocabulary. I have given you only examples in this revision sheet. You have to go back to every and each word that we have studied together. Her moccasins were made with real sinew. You remember the sinew? We have said it's a kind of a flesh, okay, or let's say it's a kind of meat, okay, that looks like a rope inside your body. It's going to connect your muscle to your bone, and it's going to be so hard, okay? So it's going to be like a cord connecting muscle and bone, as we have here in the answer. A creek ran through the ravine, and we have explained creek. It's a small river, okay? So the ravine is a deep valley between two mountains, and that's what we have explained together. Pay attention. We have 7 words, okay, in this story. Go back to every and each word. We have written some meaningful sentences using those words, and everyone knows the meaning of every and each word. Do not expect me to have those 2 words tomorrow, okay? Do not stick to the revision sheet, okay? The revision sheet is going to show you the style of the exam, but it's not going to be the exam. You know, Teacher Malik, it's not going to be the exam, okay? We're going to have different words. We're going to have different reading comprehension questions. So you have to revise, okay? I'm merely helping you here, okay? So, choose the correct answer. I'm dizzy and may faint, okay? May fall to the ground unconsciously. So faint is going to be spelled F-A-I-N-T. Yes, spelled or spelt. Both are correct as a past participle. I admitted that I lost the key. If you do not revise the words, the 20 words that we have studied together, you're not going to succeed your exam tomorrow. Okay? I cannot revise for you, you see. You have to revise the 20 words that we studied together by yourself. Those are merely examples. You're not going to have the same words tomorrow. Which of the following is correct? Occurred, which means happened. Do you remember? Add an ed, add an ing. Okay, so you have 20 spelling words in one lesson and 20 other spelling words in the other lesson, which is in the covered material in the weekly plan. So you have 40 words. Yes, 40. You have to be able to write every and each one of them. Now let's go back to grammar. And grammar, I'm coming back to the PowerPoint to re-explain what we have explained. So here, I rewarded my friend because he succeeded. This is a complex sentence, okay? And we're going back now to explain the complex and the compound sentence. The complex sentence is a sentence that has a dependent clause and an independent clause. The dependent clause is a slave clause that we cannot understand by itself. It depends on another clause to be understood. However, the independent clause, that's what Teacher Malik calls the free clause, okay? Because it can be understood by itself, okay? So for example here, I rewarded my friend. That's completely comprehensible, okay? You can understand it. It's totally meaningful, okay? I rewarded my friend. Now here we have, because he succeeded. If you take it as it is, you're not going to be able to understand it because he succeeded. Succeeded. Who succeeded? And what happened when he succeeded? And what is this because here by itself, of course, I'm talking, okay? So here, this is an independent clause that cannot be understood by itself. It starts with what we call a subordinating conjunction, which is because, and I gave you many examples of subordinating conjunctions. When you find them, you're going to say automatically this is a complex sentence, and this is the dependent clause. We're coming back to that on the PowerPoint. When I cooked this food, the little baby woke up. The underlined one here, the little baby woke up. This is an independent clause. I can understand it by itself. The little baby woke up. Okay, everything is good. I understand that the baby woke up, and that's good, because he has to wake up. He has been sleeping, for example, for 24 hours. You see? Now let's go to the first one. When I cooked his food. Yeah, you cooked the food of whom? And when you cooked the food, what happened? And this is totally not meaningful, okay? Unless you link it to the second sentence, okay? So it's a slave clause. It's an independent clause that cannot be understood by itself. It starts with a subordinating conjunction, which is when. And you have to go back and revise every and each subordinating conjunction that we have studied together. And the coordinating conjunctions too, which are 3, okay? And the coordinating conjunctions, we're going to have them in the compound sentence, okay? He traveled to 200 countries, and he brought souvenirs from most of them. He traveled to 200 countries. This is totally understandable. I have a complete subject and a complete predicate. He brought souvenirs from most of them. A complete subject and a complete predicate. The first one is fully meaningful. The second one is completely meaningful by itself, every one of them, okay? And they are linked with and, which is a coordinating conjunction. It means this is a compound sentence. This one is a compound sentence. You're not going to have the same sentences tomorrow. You have to understand, okay, to be able to tell which one is complex and which one is Which one is complex? Sorry for that. Which one is